What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been a few weeks. I just didn't have much to talk about, and been in my head, right? As everybody else, been busy with personal stuff, and getting ready for a change within my life, right? And it's not always easy. It's always a battle from within. It's always gonna be worry and some type of frustrations or other things leading up to certain things, right? If you're younger and you haven't had that in your life besides for like sports, you're worried about a big game coming up. You're worried about a big day competition for skateboarding or jujitsu or whatever the case is, right? Then you kind of know what it feels like, right? How it feels for something to come, for something that you're planning for something that's gonna flip your world upside down, essentially, in a different sense, right? But but you still got to deal with it because that's how we do. That's what us humans do. We adapt, we adjust, we worry, and we might make a bigger fuss of it than it really is. But one thing's for sure is that as long as you're willing to do it, you will persevere, right? You will persevere. You just got to make sure you put one foot in front of the other and not worry about it too much and do your best to prepare for it, but also do your best not to over worry yourself, right? And just kind of go with the change as it comes. I want to say rest in peace to a dear friend of mine who passed away. His name's Kelly. He was a good dude. I want to just speak a little bit about him. He took me in when I was couch surfing when I was at the lowest of one of the lowest points of my life. In between my drinking and drugging and battling my addictions, battling myself, battling those demons within that kept blaming the world for all my problems, for self-inflicted things that all I had to do was notice them and not do those things and run away from those, not necessarily run away from them, but confront them and do better, be better, and just not fall into those temptations of doing drugs and alcohol or running away from our problems of and drinking all the time and trying to hide from the pain within, right? And cope with these things like a normal human being would, and not with drugs or alcohol, because as many of us know who have done drugs or stuff like that, that these things do not help you cope with those things. They in some sense, make it worse. They make you dwell on them. They make you stand in place and various things like that. For most of us, anyways, or maybe not even most of us. Maybe it's just me. But the fact remains the same that this man, this friend, this father, this grandpa, this awesome human being took me in, and he took care of me exactly like family. So he's like extremely older brother to me, and well, not maybe not extremely, but he's the age of my parents, but he was like a big brother regardless, right? We'll say uncle, man. He was like an uncle to me. We called each other bro, but the age-wise, it just makes sense just for this. And he took me in, kept me warm, and he taught me quite a bit of things. How to sell things on like eBay or take the electronics apart, and even though you're in the thick of it, to try to be somewhat of a good human being. I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? He had some problems too within, so he was also facing inner turmoil, right? But he did his best anyways. Even when he had slip-ups, he would apologize and all that stuff, and it is what it is. He learned and he grew also. And, I don't know. Like I said, he did a lot for me, and he always encouraged me, and he always told me I was capable of more, even when I didn't think about that stuff too, and when I didn't even see that within myself. he would remind me time and time again. He'd give me calls and be like, "Oh, you're working over there, oh, dude. That's way below you. You know, you're so smart. You're capable of much, much more. You know." And I appreciate that a lot for somebody like me. You know, and I say somebody like me is I don't see a lot of worth in myself, but a lot of other people do. So I always try to see differently. I always try to be positive. I always try to do these things, but in all reality, I don't. I see a scared little person on the inside. That's how I feel like on the inside. But I'm pretty big outside and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes it's those things that help get me through, and it's those things that help them get through, you know. And like I said, I just want to say rest in peace. He passed away. He had diabetes. He couldn't put down the alcohol, you know. It sucks sometimes. No matter what you have or whatever, some people they can't put those things down. And you know, he wasn't sad about it. That's what he wanted to do. That's how he wanted to live the rest of his life. And that's, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody else that's drinking or drugging or anything like that. If you feel like it's your time to kick those things, you kick that whenever you need, feel that it's necessary to do. Not because I say it, not because anybody else says it. But when you're ready to confront those things and step out onto the other side, if not, and that's what you're comfortable with, and that's how you want to live your life, like I say, I have a beer or two here or there every, I don't know, a long time, like every month at most, or at least. I think the last beer I had was like, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I got beer in the fridge from then, you know? So it's like, kind of want to pour it out, and but I don't want to waste it, so I'll go open it up, take a sip, and be disgusted by it, and then pour it out, you know. So, but otherwise, that's you know, dealing with these things, dealing with loss, dealing with inner turmoils, never easy, but. You know, more often than none, people like myself, we turn to drugs, we turn to alcohol, we turn to this escape because we didn't learn how to cope correctly, or maybe we don't want to. Maybe that's just what we want to do, which is fine and dandy. But when you're wanting to make that change and you want something to change, and it hasn't been changing for you, it's been going down, then the first things first is that you got to look within. You got to look within, and you got to see the signs. Because sometimes we simply just don't see the signs. So, but anyways, I love you guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, this has been another Cloud Slayer Ramble. I'm glad to see you guys again. Peace.